The second round of the NBA playoffs are about to start, and they're giving us a real treat to start off with. We've got Denver versus Minnesota. We're going to preview it, break it down, and predict it, so let's get right on into it. If you love basketball, you're going to absolutely love this series. There's no other way around it. A highly anticipated, maybe the most anticipated second round matchup. Although, let's be real, they're all going to be really good matchups. We've got the number 2 seeded Denver Nuggets versus the number 3 seed Minnesota Timberwolves, with Denver being the number 2 seed and the reigning champions. Minnesota, the young gun, 3-seeded, best defense in the regular season, sweeping Phoenix. Denver in a gentleman's sweep against the Lakers. Opening up here, the Denver Nuggets are favored to win the series. They are a minus 205 to win the series. Minnesota is a plus 170. And for game 1 in Denver, Denver is favored by 4.5 points, with the over-under at 207.5 at the time of this video. But as we get into the injury report, though, the biggest thing to keep your eye on is Jamal Murray's injury. He is questionable, and I would be shocked as hell if he didn't play. I'm 99% sure he's going to play, but it is something to monitor for sure. Luckily, though, with being the better seed, they do get the first 2 games in Denver. Game 1 on Saturday, the 4th, and Game 2 being on Monday, the 6th. One good thing, if you're Murray with this nagging injury, is that after you play your first 2 games in Denver, Game 3 in Minnesota will be on the 10th, so he'd have 4 days after Game 2, which could help him get on the healthier side of things. Although he doesn't look too injured here, does he? As for Minnesota's injury report, the good thing on their side is they really have none. Boy, what a great thing for a defensive-minded, young, athletic team, huh? The Nuggets were the best free throw shooting team thus far throughout the playoffs, with the Timberwolves right behind them by 0.1% if number 2. Minnesota has straight shot the ball a lot better than Denver, though Denver's only 30% from 3 throughout the first round. Minnesota is also shooting better than them from the field overall. It's just not been a great start in shooting for Denver, which is scary. You damn near sweep the Lakers and you're not even shooting well yet. Denver is taking pretty good care of the ball, though, as Minnesota is turning it over at about 14 times. The Nuggets are turning it over a little over 11 times. Last year in that series, Minnesota struggled to score at times against Denver. They averaged 105 for the series. Against Phoenix this year, though, in the first round, 3 out of their 4 games, they scored 120 or more against Phoenix. It's going to be very fun to see the immovable defense against the unstoppable offense. I don't care about any of that Minnesota Anthony Edwards' young shit. That shit doesn't matter. He's already been through the playoffs. Rudy Gobert, Karl Anthony Towns, they have a bunch of bigs that they can use against Jokic. They will not double Jokic very much, I don't think. They really didn't that much last year, and Jokic still cooked them. Some of my favorite highlights from Jokic came in that series last year, so it'll be interesting to see. We know that Edwards likes to shoot threes at the beginning. He likes to get the three-pointers going, so I think Denver might put KCP on him. Jokic can get Gobert, Aaron Gordon can guard Towns. Now, of course, obviously, it's not just going to be KCP guarding him. Gordon, and I'm sure Peyton Watson is going to guard him too. They're going to unleash Peyton Watson on defense, I would imagine. If Peyton Watson could get going from offense, though, he's going to end up being a tremendous player because he's already a very good defender. But KCP's one of the better defenders on the perimeter, and that's kind of how you're going to get Anthony Edwards off of his game, if you can get him to at least take a bunch of contested shots. Even if he makes them, if you're making him work for it, that's all you can really ask for. Even though Minnesota is great on defense, they struggled against Jamal for all except for, I think, Game 2 in last year's playoffs. And I think they're going to have to figure something out. I don't think Conley's going to be able to stay with him as good as a defender as he has been throughout his career. Correction, Jamal had 40 in Game 2, so no, he did not struggle. Jamal Murray on the playoffs is a different level. They're going to have to put somebody bigger than Conley on him. There'll be no way that Conley is able to guard Jamal. If they do that, I think Denver wins in 6. And maybe they'll have to because of the size difference of everybody else. Or maybe you could put Conley on KCP since we know he won't shoot a bunch. I don't know, but I don't really have a dog or wolf in this fight. Get it? But either way, I like Jamal Murray as the X Factor, as I do in just about every of the Denver playoff series. And I've got Denver to win in 7, but I would not be shocked at all if Minnesota won the series in 7. But I do think it's going 6 or 7. I don't think this is over in 4 or 5. No. And yeah, make no doubts about this. This is going to be a great series. If you like the NBA and other sports like the NFL, consider subscribing today. We're locked in for the NBA playoffs, and the NFL is always in season. We're going to break down and preview all of the matchups, so stay tuned for more of America's Sports.